Gods cannot die, that is what makes them gods. But every pantheon had a problem. Something existed that could end them. Not a creature, not a rival, a weapon. Forged in impossible places by beings older than the gods themselves. These are not swords and hammers. These are extinction events, shaped like metal. 7 weapons from 7 traditions. Each one built to do the one thing the universe said was impossible. Kill something immortal. The dwarves, Sindri and Brokkr, forged Mjolnir in the heart of a dying star. Loki tried to sabotage it. He turned into a fly and stung Brokkr's eyelid while he worked the bellows. The handle came out too short. That was not a flaw. It was a feature. Mjolnir was never meant to be swung like a normal hammer. It was thrown, and it always came back. When Thor hurled Mjolnir, it did not just strike. It called lightning from the sky. It shattered mountains. It killed frost giants in a single blow. But the weapon had a rule. Only someone worthy could lift it. Not strong, worthy. Thor himself was once denied Mjolnir when his arrogance grew too large. The hammer decided who deserved it. A weapon that judges its owner. That is not a tool. That is a moral compass made of metal. When the 3 brothers divided the universe, Zeus took the sky. Hades took the underworld. Poseidon took the sea. And the Cyclopes gave each brother a weapon to match their domain. Poseidon received a trident, 3 prongs. Each one controlled a different force. The first prong commanded the tides. Every ocean, every river, every drop of water answered to it. The second prong caused earthquakes. Poseidon could split the earth open with a single strike. The third prong created storms, hurricanes, tsunamis, waterspouts. The trident was not just a weapon. It was climate control. When Poseidon struck the ground with it, he created the first horse from sea foam. When he struck the ocean floor, he raised islands. When Odysseus angered him, Poseidon used the trident to curse his voyage for 10 years. The entire Odyssey happened because one god pointed a fork at one man. Odin's spear Gungnir had one rule. Once thrown, it never missed. Not sometimes. Never. The dwarves of Ivaldi forged it from a metal that does not exist in any mine. Runes were carved along the shaft that bound the spear to fate itself. Wherever Gungnir was aimed, the target was already dead. It just had not happened yet. Odin used Gungnir to start the first war. Before the battle between the Aesir and the Vanir, he hurled the spear over the enemy army. That throw was not an attack. It was a declaration. In Norse tradition, throwing a spear over your enemy meant they now belonged to Odin. Their deaths were claimed before the first sword was drawn. Every Norse warrior who went to battle threw a spear first, copying Odin's ritual. They whispered the same words. Odin owns you all. Gungnir was not a weapon you fought with. It was a weapon that decided the outcome before the fight began. Most people know the wrong story. The sword in the stone was not Excalibur. That was a different sword. Arthur pulled a nameless blade from a rock to prove his right to rule. Excalibur came later. After Arthur broke his first sword in battle, Merlin took him to a lake. A hand rose from the water, holding a blade that glowed like frozen starlight. The lady of the lake offered it. But Merlin asked Arthur a question. What is more valuable, the sword or the scabbard? Arthur said the sword. Merlin said he was wrong. The scabbard of Excalibur made its wearer unable to bleed. No wound could kill you while you wore it. The sword itself could cut through any armor, any shield, any enchantment. But the scabbard was immortality. Arthur's sister Morgan Le Fay knew this. She stole the scabbard and threw it into the lake. The moment it was gone, Arthur became mortal again. He was killed at the Battle of Camlan shortly after. Excalibur did not fail Arthur. Arthur lost the thing that mattered more than the blade. The most dangerous weapon in Hindu mythology was not a sword or a bow. It was a disc. The Sudarshana Chakra belonged to Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. It had 108 serrated edges, spinning at the speed of thought. It was made from the dust of the sun, shaped by Vishwakarma, the divine architect. Once released, it could not be stopped. Not by gods, not by demons, not by other weapons. It would pursue its target across dimensions, through time, across the boundaries between life and death, and it would not return until the target no longer existed. Not dead, erased. The chakra did not just kill, it removed things from reality. In the Mahabharata, Krishna used it to behead Shishupala after giving him exactly 100 chances to repent. On the 101st offense, the disc flew. No warning, no negotiation. 100 chances is mercy, 101 is annihilation. The storm god Susanoo was banished from heaven for his violence. He wandered the earth until he found an old couple weeping. An 8-headed serpent called Yamata no Orochi demanded their daughter as sacrifice. Susanoo agreed to kill it. He set out 8 vats of sake. The serpent drank from all 8 heads simultaneously and passed out. Susanoo cut it apart. Inside the 4th tail, he found a sword. A blade that should not have existed inside a monster. He named it Kusanagi no Tsurugi, the grass-cutting sword. He gave it to his sister Amaterasu as an apology. She placed it among the imperial regalia of Japan, the 3 sacred treasures that proved the emperor's divine right to rule. The sword is supposedly still there today, in the Atsuta Shrine in Nagoya. No living person has seen it, no photograph exists. The Japanese government neither confirms nor denies its physical existence. A sword pulled from a dead god serpent 3,000 years ago. Either it is real and sitting in a shrine, or an entire nation has been guarding an empty room. Every culture built the same thing, a weapon too powerful for the beings that used it. Mjolnir judged its wielder. Excalibur's real power was the part Arthur ignored. The Sudarshana Chakra erased existence itself. Kusanagi might still be sitting in a shrine. The pattern is always the same. The weapon is never just a weapon. It is a test. Can you hold this much power without being destroyed by it? The gods could not. And that was the point.